thank you so much for coming and speaking with me today.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Um,
for taking the time to talk with me today.
yes. Is it okay if we record the session?
Yes, that will be fine. Thank you for asking.
Yes. So tell me, what brings you here today?
Um, well, I've kind of set a goal for myself and just trying to thought it would be helpful to talk with a coach and to maybe just get some pointers or some encouragement or just maybe that accountability aspect. I would like to start reducing the amount of sugar that I consume on a regular basis just in my normal daily diet.
Yes. Okay. So how has that been going for you?
Um, at times, I'm very good with it, and there are times that I just completely fall off the wagon. Um, Sugar has always been my weakness. I've always said, sure, give me a salad, but I want a brownie afterwards. And there have been times in my life where I could kind of kick the sugar out of my diet, and when I do it and really commit to it, I get past those cravings and I don't really even miss it anymore. But as
Mhm.
soon as I start kind of incorporating sugar back into my diet, even just a little bit here and there, it's like it just kind of triggers something, and it makes me want it more. And I don't like that feeling because I do actually feel like it is an addiction, and I don't like feeling that I don't have control over something that I should be able to control. It's
Mhm.
just it makes me feel kind of crazy sometimes, and I have been successful in eliminating sugar from my diet before, and like I said, at that time, I really didn't even miss it anymore, and I would like to get back to that.
Right. So at that time, when you were cutting the sugars, what were you doing differently that, worked for you?
Um, Really, I guess I was just mentally just like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And, even if I had a craving there in the beginning, I just kind of forced myself through it. And just eventually I kind of got to where I was just had the will to do it. Most recently that I was successful in eliminating sugar from my diet. We were doing a challenge group at the gym that I go to, and so that was kind of good because I was surrounded by friends and even my husband who had made that same commitment, and so that made it a little bit easier because you had other people to talk to and other people that you could kind of get suggestions from, and just knowing that your peers were feeling the same way that you were. So that, like I said, that's most recently how I was successful in eliminating the sugar, or at least getting started. And then it was just something that I was able to keep up for a prolonged period of time. But and I was always that one that could say at the work, like business parties or birthday parties or whatever, no, I'm not going to have a piece of cake, but thank you. And I was just always that strong one. But here lately, it seems like I've been giving in a little bit here and a little bit there. And I realize you have to live, you have to cut loose every once in a while. But it seems like I'm allowing myself um, to have it on a more regular basis, even though I don't keep it in my house and it's not something I have daily. I am having it a lot more than what I would like, and I think about it more than what I would like, and I crave it more than what I would like. And I'm just thinking now, okay, here we are, it's almost Thanksgiving, Christmas is going to be coming up, and I know I'm going to be surrounded with all these sweets, and I just want to have um, the confidence that I will have somewhat of control over the situation.
Right. So to you, um, having a great support system and having the people around you and that are close to you, that's really a big deal to you. Is that right?
It is. It is. It's definitely motivating to have friends and like I said, my husband who are there to support me and just knowing too that that someone else is. I hate to say suffering because it's not really suffering, but they're having those same struggles that I am, and so just knowing that I'm not alone is encouraging in itself.
Yes. Well, things are much easier to do, especially with your husband or someone that you're close to or living in the same house with. They're much easier to do with someone as opposed to watching them eat a brownie and
Yes,
drop
yes, it's definitely when my husband made the commitment, that's what made it that was probably the biggest difference that it made because my husband has just always had like this crazy high metabolism and he's never had to worry about his weight or anything. And so he's just always been able to eat
it.
whatever. And so I would still buy things that I knew that he liked and that he liked to have around the house to snack on or as a treat or whatever. And then then I would be more prone to be tempted to eat those things since they were within reach. And so when he made the commitment as well, then that made it easier because then I was able to completely stop buying certain things and even the way that I cooked changed and so that was easier to just not be tempted at home because I don't buy those things and so therefore they're not here either. I can't reach them and get them and so it's like
Yeah.
if I at that point it was like if I wanted something sweet I had to make a very conscious decision to get my car and drive somewhere to get something because there was nothing in my house. So
Yeah. So right now, I know you had said you were successful with cutting the sweets and everything, and your husband was on board. How does he feel now? Is he just kind of gone back to eating more sweets, or has he kind of kept up or tried to keep up with not having as much sweets and stuff?
I would say he's probably about in the same boat as I am. We both are just probably um, like us kind of giving in more regularly than what we had been doing when we were both doing the challenge through our gym. But I still don't just buy junk food. But when I say sugar, I mean sugar is literally in almost everything. You go to reading labels and it's in everything. So when I say sugar, I'm not necessarily just meaning the little Debbie's and the brownies and but even like protein bars or protein shakes, like those things are loaded in sugar too. And
Mhm.
so I just kind of I just want to get back to, I guess, a cleaner way of eating and not having those cravings anymore. Because like right now, I'm still not buying junk food, but I have protein shakes. I have protein bars in the cabinet, and so when I get these sugar cravings, it's like that's what I'll turn to because that's all I have in my house that would satisfy that sweet craving. But it's like, well, I'm not really that hungry. Like I don't need to consume all that protein right now or all those calories right now, but I just want it because it's chocolate. And so those are the things that I'll grab when I'm having a craving.
Yeah. Well, tell me, I know you've said or you had done this before, but what do you think you could do differently this time to help this not just be like a temporary change, but more of a long-term change? What could you do differently?
Well, I think my first step is really just going to be just really having the willpower to cut it out, really altogether, like and even even just with fruits, like even natural sugar. Like when I made a point to cut out all of my added sugar, but then also to cut back on natural sugars as well, just things that are sugars that are in fruit, and even some of the more starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes, carrots. When I even reduced those, when I really just overall cut my sugar way back, I did get past having those cravings. And so I feel like if I could really be committed to just really making the conscious effort to really reduce not only the added sugar, but even the natural sugars, that my body will eventually adjust to that. And it's just a matter of making that strong of a commitment, and then seeing through it, like just even in just a few days. I mean, after several days, I know that I would feel better and those cravings would lessen. So it's like I just need to give myself the opportunity to make it that far, so that hopefully I could be successful longer term in not indulging in these little cheats here and there as frequently as I currently am.
So what are you looking to start? When are you looking to start this? I would say, because I know Christmas or Thanksgiving's actually tomorrow, and I know Christmas will be coming up. So how do you think you can maintain this while the holidays are here?
Well, realistically, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I actually baked a pie myself today to take to Thanksgiving. I was asked by, and so it's like I know to say that I can't have anything sweet tomorrow would be unrealistic. Um, and Thanksgiving does
Right.
just come once a year. And then we'll continue to have Thanksgiving festivities even through the weekend. So I would say realistically, this Sunday would be the most realistic, or the quickest, or the earliest day realistically that I could make a commitment to cutting out the sugar again.
Yeah. And that's good. I know that it sounds like you want to get started on this fairly early, I know, because of Thanksgiving this weekend, but if you were to start Sunday, that would help you get started. And a month from now, Christmas comes, you could still have that couple of days of, your little cheat days, and you could still have your sweets too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is just it's important to me, like, there's some immediate benefits that I know that I would have, because when I do, eat cleaner, I just feel better, and then when I start introducing those sugars again, and I can tolerate a little bit here and there, but, like, we had a pretty big meal actually this past weekend, because that was when my sister was able to come in for Thanksgiving from out of state, and just having all the pies and the cookies and things around. It's like when I eat that, it's like my body's not really used to it that much anymore, not in that quantity, and because I really did eat too much sweets, and it's like I just feel swollen. Like my body just feels swollen. It's not so much that I weigh and it's like, oh, I gained 10 pounds. I know I'm not going to gain 10 pounds, but it's just the feeling that my body has. And then when I go to work out, it's like, oh, I just feel so yucky. And I hate that feeling. And so anytime I do feel that way, I'm like, okay, remember this feeling. Yeah, that cake or pie or whatever was good, but was it worth feeling like you feel right now? And the moment I'll say, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth this feeling. But then, a few days pass, and, there's that pie or cookie or whatever, and I might be tempted to eat it again. But anyway, so I mean, there are some immediate benefits that I feel like I would have if I could cut out the sugar, but also just thinking long term. My grandmother on my dad's side was diabetic, and she had a number of health concerns that basically stemmed from that. And so I know that I could possibly have that in my genetics. And even though my blood work right now is perfect, trouble with my blood sugar, I don't want it to ever get to that point. I don't want to put myself in the position of having this disease that I could have potentially prevented had I made better choices with my nutrition.
Mhm. So you're not only thinking that cutting some sugar in your diet will help you, feel more energy and not be as tired, but also to keep diabetes or any kind of disease like that from happening to you down the road. So
Right.
that's really good.
Yes.
Well, have you, in the past couple weeks, I know you had set this goal, have you done any kind of cutting just here and there? Or are you just ready to start this maybe after the holidays?
I would say I'd probably just be ready to start after the holidays. Like I said, when I go grocery shopping, I don't just buy things. So I don't have things at home other than the sweetest things I have at my house are protein bars and protein shakes. And so I just need to make the conscious decision that you're only going to have these when you legitimately need the protein and need a quick meal or something. It's not something to got a sweet tooth. So I do need to work on that. But um,
I think that's great that you keep all the, you know, sweets that could be tempting, and you're very wise in your shoppings to keep all that away, because I know if it's in your pantry, it's very easy to just go over there, grab a snack, and then it becomes that bad habit again. So that's,
definitely.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it sounds like, just gonna kind of summarize, it sounds like you are wanting to make some changes in your diet because um, you're not worried about weight that as much, but more about your just feeling and being healthy and having more energy, but also keeping, those diseases that run in your family. You want to keep those out, and you also want your husband and friends, and even being at the gym, having that support makes it much easier to change those things. Do you have children?
I do not.
Okay. So I wonder, but having that support system, I know, really does help you and keeps you encouraged and motivated to keep the sweets away. So, um, does that kind of sound like everything?
Yeah, that sounds like an accurate summary. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad that we got to talk today, and I'm looking forward to getting back in touch with you to see how everything goes after the holidays, and see how much farther you've come to reaching your goal.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It was good just having someone to talk to. So I definitely appreciate your time and your listening to me.
Yes, you're welcome, and I really appreciate it too. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.